Chris.
I'm Lloyd.
And we are
the BMF Bros.
So before we get started on today's video, I just want to let all our followers, which are 0, and subscribers, which are 0, know that we have an Instagram page up. The handle is BMF_bros. So once again, that Instagram handle is BMF_bros. On our Instagram page.
Oh, we got a comment.
No way.
Wow, beyond awesome. Love it all. Yellow heart. Would you want to be featured? Direct message us to get more info. Yeah.
But anyways, so on our Instagram page, you're gonna see some outfits that we put together, some items that we enjoy and we like, that we personally have and use. But as Lloyd mentioned earlier, while we were talking about this, we won't get paid a lick of anything because no one follows us and no one cares. So on to today's topic. So today's topic, Lloyd?
So in today's video, we will give you our 5 tips on how to look good without looking like you tried too hard. And as we said in our first video, this is kind of the ethos behind this channel, and so we thought it would be a great place to start. Bear in mind that these are just general safe rules, if you will, that are really more intended for a person that is looking for a little bit of direction. If you have a great sense of style, if you already know what you're doing, by all means, these rules may not apply to you, but these are really kind of the safe things you can do to ensure that you don't look like you tried too hard.
But you also still look good.
So with that, why don't we jump into the list?
All right, so tip number 1, focus on fit.
I think fit, like when people say focus on fit, there's a misconception that you should just wear a lot of tight stuff.
Yeah.
But fit doesn't necessarily mean that, it just means that the clothes should, fit with the rest of your body, right? So as an example, like the inseam on my t-shirt from, this part to the sleeve should more or less line up with my shoulders. When I think pants, I think the length of the pants should be such that, you don't get breakage or you don't get too much breakage when the pants hit your shoes. Things like that, just those little things already start to really polish up your look and make you look a lot more crisp.
Too skinny is a thing. If your pants look like they're painted on you, and your shirts are, super tight, that your pectorals are all busting out your shirt, that's a little bit too tight. Busting. But yeah, focus on fit. I think that's the the number 1 rule for us, is to make sure your clothes fit well.
Yeah, the rest of your outfit can be very traditional, meaning you might be wearing nothing special other than just a t-shirt and jeans, but the fit can really make everything look a lot more polished, or it can make you look like your dad. So it really does come to just that attention to detail, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
As far as pants go, the one rule of thumb that I have is I don't want to see the contours of your calf.
Or your crotch.
It's like a 3 thing. It's like ball.
It's like a division something.
Or your crotch. If I can see any of those 2 things, you've gone too far.
But we're not looking at crotches.
No.
But if you are, then, we're not judging.
Right.
All right.
Number 2, wear classic pieces. What do we mean by that?
Well, if you think about classic pieces, let's think about some of the kind of most stylish people in history. Let's say like Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, Sean Connery. If you look at pictures from them 20, 30, 40 years ago, they still look cool. You don't want to be in a picture wearing something goofy because it was on trend, a couple years ago, and then looking back and being like, wow, like I dressed like an idiot.
Yeah, my general rule of thumb here is that if it is a category that doesn't exist on most websites, right, like t-shirt, sweater, chinos, denim, those are what I would define as classic pieces. If you need to be using the search bar to type in t-shirts with holes in them, I won't make it a blanket statement and say that all of those pieces are necessarily terrible. It's just that if you're looking for the safe option and you want to just go for that timeless piece and know that you can wear it in the long run, we would typically recommend going for something that's a little bit more classic.
Tip number 3.
Stick to neutral colors.
And patterns.
And patterns. if you can pull off a vibrant yellow or a neon green, that's great. I can't. And I think for some guys, color matching doesn't necessarily come very naturally. So again, the simplest and easiest way to do this is to just focus on key neutral colors, and they almost always look good together. So that's, you know, your navies, your whites, your grays, your browns, to some degree your greens, like more of a khaki. I mean, I guess we're both wearing green right now.
Yeah.
So those are kind of the range. Earth tones, right? I like khaki colors. Like, I think that's kind of the range that I would consider to be more of that neutral palette.
Mm-hmm.
If you go beyond that, that's fine. It's just that when you start with those key colors, it's very easy to mix and match, and it's very difficult for things to go wrong. Whereas if you kind of go beyond that, now you have colors that might clash and they might not look good together. So it's just easier to go with colors and patterns that are a little bit more muted in nature.
Yeah. Don't wear things with too many logos. So I think Lloyd had a story where he was pretty heated. So if you want to get into that a little bit more.
So what am I talking about here? I'm talking about Coach, I'm talking about
Gucci gang,
Louis Vuitton,
right.
What else? Basically anything where there's like a monogramming or where there's a logo that's being repeated across the board. It doesn't just apply to the hype beasts either. Yesterday I saw a lady in her probably late 50s, early 60s wearing Burberry pants with Gucci loafers, and it wasn't the nice Gucci loafer, it was the one with the G's all over it, and it was an eyesore. Sorry, but it was terrible. The fact that it yells too much that, you know, you want people to see what you're wearing takes away from that effortless cool. It really smells like you're trying too hard.
Mm-hmm. All right,
number 4.
The devil is in the details.
What does that even mean? The devil
I don't
is
know.
in the details. Do you guys know what that means?
It's been established that we don't know what devil is in the details actually means, but we do know what we mean by the details. So
it makes it sound like the details are a bad thing.
Yeah, but they're not. No. They're a good thing. So if you think about two people that are wearing the exact same outfits, what really sets them apart, right? So one we've already spoke about, of course, is the fit, right? So assuming the fit's exactly the same, there's a couple things that the person who's a little bit more stylish and cool can be doing to set them apart.
Yeah, it's little things like showing a little bit of sock, or wearing socks that are a little bit more vibrant or have some small patterns on them, or showing a little bit of cuff under your sweater. It's the little details like this that can elevate your style a little bit more, and I think it tells the person that you're talking to that although I'm not wearing anything that's necessarily yelling, "Look at me," I do care about how I'm putting all this together. It just kind of gives that impression that I care a little bit, and I think that is that little understated style nod that you can get from someone that notices those things. Just don't go overboard with this as well, right? Like,
yeah,
you know, a little cuff link could be a little, you know, detail.
Show a little ankle, but not too much ankle.
Right. Exactly. Like, don't start wearing capris. Manprees, you know. I think a little bit of jewelry could be cool, right? Like like a bracelet or a watch. But, you know, don't have like 4 bracelets on, or you know what I mean? Like, just don't go overboard with all of this.
Or have an iced out watch, or a watch that's so big that the watch face, the watch face covers your entire wrist and more. But yeah, we'll save that for another time. We can go on that forever.
I'm very passionate about watches.
Yeah. All right, and lastly, tip number 5.
Dress for the occasion.
So what does that mean?
I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward, but you know, when you're going to a wedding, don't show up in shorts and a t-shirt, no matter how good that combination looks. Yeah. If you're going out you know, depending on which, just think about where the setting that you're going to, and the environment that you're going to be in, and just make sure that what you're wearing is consistent with that environment. If you are wearing a tuxedo out to see some friends, you will stick out like a sore thumb, and it might look great. Like you might have, I don't care if you're George Clooney and you have like the perfectly fitted Tom Ford suit. If you go wearing that to
brunch,
the local, the brunch, like
the farmer's market, you're gonna look ridiculous.
You're gonna look ridiculous, right? Like this obviously is a very exaggerated example, but the idea is that when you're not taking into consideration where you're going to be and the setting, that again, it can give off the impression that you're just trying too hard. Like, you know, why is this guy wearing, you know, all of this to the farmer's market?
This wraps up our video on tips on how to look good without looking like you're trying too hard. Once again, please subscribe, like the video, leave comments on anything else you'd like to see, or comments on the video. Anything else? Yes, once again, please follow us on Instagram, BMF_bros on Instagram.
At the time of this filming, we have 2 followers,
yes.
Chris and my personal accounts.
Thanks for watching, and
we'll see you in the next one.
Good night.
Finger thing. Can't wait for the Titanic music.
There's also something else I want to bring up, kind of related but unrelated to this topic, is the idea of square-toed dress shoes. I know we didn't talk about this, but it just came in my head. If you're wearing square-toed dress shoes, I don't even know if you could still find them and buy them, but if you are wearing them from 15 or 10 years ago, just throw them away.
Yeah,
just throw them away.
Just stop it.